Crypto Report. It's February 7th, 2025, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Hamilton. I'm here with our lead crypto researcher, Josh. Josh, what's up? So we were just talking about that this morning, how this new Trump administration, if you guys have been trading back during the first Trump administration, the markets move based off of headlines, at least the algorithms do, in the short term. So the short term can really be impacted by these tweets, these headlines that come out. I think this morning, just right now, actually, some new tariff news came out and the market started to take a nosedive because of that. But it's important to understand that the primary trend very rarely gets impacted. And so I think that's where we should start. We have Bitcoin up on the chart here. The long-term primary trend of Bitcoin is still up, is it not? So the way I look at this is very simple. I'm looking for secular breakouts or evidence of a secular breakout, and the reason why I'm bullish above 70,000 as like the most that I'm willing to hold my Bitcoin position to the downside. If we break 70K, I think the secular breakout is over. But we've ranged here for 3-4 years, right? Underneath the 70K range, we came up and tested it in 2021. We set that kind of double top there that came into the bear market, and then once again we hit it at the beginning of 2024, and like you said, we consolidated there for upwards of 6-7 months, for 8 months before we really started to break out. That to me is a big enough range to justify the concept of a secular breakout with a multi-year base build out. Generally speaking, the bigger the base, the bigger the breakout. We can look back through history and not only the TradFi market, but the relatively recent crypto market history and see that this tends to play out as well. The longer these bases are built out, the farther these breakouts tend to go. I think the problem is, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've both been in the game for a couple of cycles now in the crypto space. People that are attracted to crypto and the volatility of crypto, if something is not moving 100% a day, they start to get fidgety. And then if obviously they're trading with leverage, they run the risk of being stopped out on rather small moves in the grand scheme of things. And I think that's what we saw just a couple of days ago. I believe it was the largest liquidation event in a pure dollar amount terms ever recorded in the crypto industry. Billions of dollars liquidated over a 24-hour period, and yet we're still stuck in the exact same range, right? I'm going to pull that up really quick because it's absolutely insane to me that it came down to the exact same point that it's held support multiple like breakdowns below, like the 2K range. Yeah, it's like third time, fourth time it's dipped down here. This was a massive move, by the way, and just so everyone's fully aware, this is a $326 billion asset that dropped upwards of 20, 25, 30%. Yeah, in a 24-hour period. I mean, it was an absolutely massive, and then it rallied right back up. So, I mean, you're right. If you're playing with leverage and you're not equipped to be playing with that type of stuff, this can feel like, it could feel like hell. It could feel like you're just stuck in chop and there's no upside, and this is the top, like purgatory basically. Like this is the top, short everything. But if there's one thing that we know from TradFi, it's that you don't necessarily want to top, or you don't want to short chop, right? Jesse Livermore over 100 years ago famously said, supposedly, you never short a dull market, right? You get bored, you're like, all right, this trend's over, I'm going to short it. And we've seen over the last 3 months now, since we've been range bound here, since post-election, shorting has been not a great opportunity unless you're just playing this sort of range that we're in. So what I'm looking for is a positive move up and over 103, 104, and I'm fully expecting a $150 to $160 price target get hit this year. I don't think it's out of the realm of ordinary. We're trading north of an upward sloping 200 moving average. The bullish momentum regime is still intact. We're still range bound in overbought territory, which I love. Being bullish, I want this to be in overbought territory. It means people love it. They don't care what price it's at. From a shorter term standpoint, above 90K, I don't know how the hell you're short this at all. I don't know how you're bearish at all. If you look at the grand scheme of things, you have a 5 ADR. That's only 2 or 3x ADR range that we've set here, which isn't necessarily the biggest thing in the world, and it's a volatile asset in of itself. So we're holding above 90K. I think the path of least resistance is still higher to 155. We break below 90K, you might want to get tactical with some shorts to defend your major position. But above 70K, I think you're absolutely insane being bearish Bitcoin. Yeah, why would you not? Yeah. It's a super small loss, right? That's the whole point, is that if the risk to reward makes sense, fuck the bias. And I mean that sincerely. Everybody wants Bitcoin to go up unless you're a loser. Then you want it to go down and you want to screw everybody over because you want to watch the world burn. So, buying the 90 area with a stop right below it, all you're saying is, listen, it's not holding the support anymore, so I don't expect it to go right back up to 103, 104 like it has in the past. So I'm out. You lose a couple bucks. But if it doesn't and it continues to be in this range here, you're going to make money while it's trading within a range, which most people can't do. I agree. So let's move on to something really quick. The total crypto market cap. We're bullish Bitcoin. You could talk all day about why you shouldn't be short this, why you should be still net long, and why you should be looking to add in strategically. We could, beat a dead horse with that. But let's talk about the overall thesis here, not only with the crypto market, but the total market in general. TradFi, crypto, and this entire idea of, are we still in a risk-on environment? There's a lot of people out there that are saying we are moving in towards a potential top type of situation. We had the deep sink 2 weeks ago. Earlier this week, we had Trump tariffs, 2 back-to-back weeks of some pretty big catalysts that scared the market. Obviously, the tariff news was the reason why the crypto market fell down so much on Monday. But we're still holding above $3 trillion. And I think that's an important level that we need to watch as long as we're holding the $3 trillion market cap. Just like with Bitcoin above 70K, this is a secular breakout. And with liquidity continuing to enter the space, not only TradFi market, but then permeating into the crypto space, we should continue to see the total crypto market cap expand with an intermediate price target of over $4 trillion. I don't think that's absolutely insane. And I actually think that we're probably going to be closer to $6 trillion by the end of this cycle that we're currently breaking out of. What do you think with that? Am I crazy or what? I will say that below 3 trillion, which we were at Sunday night, I think I tweeted out, this is where my thesis starts to change in crypto, but not only crypto, risk assets in general. If they're running out of this space and we're breaking back down below 3 trillion, there's some legitimate yellow flags in the market. I think that this stuff is interconnected. I think it's highly correlated. I don't think that the crypto market moves independent of the TradFi market and kind of vice versa. I think in certain circumstances, the crypto market might actually lead the TradFi market, at least from a higher beta standpoint. You're looking at your NASDAQ components, particularly your smalls and mids and stuff like that, kind of the tech, consumer discretionary, and comm plays. I think that because of the nature of crypto trading 24/7 and some of the liquidity issues, price really moves a lot quicker in the crypto market, therefore potentially could lead. I don't think that's too outlandish to say. Below 3 trillion, and there's some yellow flags, but as long as we're holding 3 trillion, I don't think that you need to be necessarily worried about whether or not crypto is going to continue to go up. I just don't see it. And one caveat here really quick I want to point out, there's a difference between a cyclical bull market and a secular bull market. And the difference is in the TradFi space, a cyclical bull market will last anywhere between 3 to 5 years. And then a cyclical bear market is generally up to like 1 to 2 years, essentially. So bull markets are longer than bear markets. Secular bull markets and secular bear markets in the TradFi space can run anywhere between 15 to 20 years in the bull case and generally around 10 years in the bear case. In crypto land, it's way, way, way shorter. The cyclical breakouts that we refer to as bull and bear can last 1 to 2 years, maybe, right? Secular is generally going to last a little bit more than that. So maybe we can say like 2 to 4 years or something, where we have this overwhelming bullish undertone here. And the reason why I say that is we've been range bound in not only Bitcoin, but also the total crypto market cap for upwards of 3 to 4 years. So we were in purgatory. We were in hell, crypto hell, for a very long time before we broke out. We peaked in late 2021 and we didn't really break out until the beginning of 2025, right? So that's like a 4-year secular bear where the crypto space did not break out into new highs, and now we have these new highs. So that's part of the reason why I'm not willing to give up on this. I'm not willing to say that this is where it rolls over. We just spent 4 years range bound. Do we really give it up this quickly? I mean, 3 months in? I don't think so. I mean, you're right? You're absolutely right. Yeah. So let's talk about Bitcoin dominance first. Why don't you tell us why you don't like this chart, and then we'll talk about what chart you do like. So what most people use for Bitcoin dominance, I'm going to take off these indicators because they don't make sense here. What we're looking at here is the percentage of money that is allocated towards Bitcoin versus everything else, right? And right now we're sitting at 61.71%, which is damn near a 4-year high. I think we're down about 0.5% off of yesterday or 2 days ago. So this is essentially telling us that a majority of the capital coming into the market is going directly into Bitcoin. And the previous idea was that when this ratio was moving up and to the right, you were better off owning Bitcoin than altcoins. And then when this ratio was coming down, right, you were better off owning altcoins than Bitcoin. So generally speaking, these altcoin seasons that people talk about are when the ratio is dropping dramatically, and then the non-altcoin seasons are generally when this ratio is up and to the right. So that was the traditional way of looking at this. A lot of people still use it. I still used it until you told me that maybe there was a more efficient way. Why don't you tell the viewers why you don't like this chart, and then we'll segue that into the chart that you do like. Yeah. So when this others chart is going down and to the right, it's effectively telling us that the opportunity cost of holding alts is increasing against Bitcoin, and you should probably be allocated more so in Bitcoin than altcoins. And then when this finds a floor, wherever it does, and starts to rally back and to the right, it's essentially signaling to you that the opportunity cost of owning Bitcoin is higher, and you should be looking to funnel some of that capital into altcoins. Is that correct? I want to just say one thing really quick because I think it's important. There's a lot of people, like you said, that are looking to trade altcoins because they have a potential for a larger gain. Bitcoin doubling right now would be incredible for a lot of people. Let's say it's 100,000, it goes to 200,000. That's great, but that's still only a 100% move without leverage, of course. Altcoins, you can get a 100% move in a single day. You get a 1,000% move in certain circumstances in a single day. It's not out of the realm of ordinary, and we're probably going to go back to that environment before the cycle is over again. It's very, very short-lived, as you can tell here. We really only had it for about 1 month, and then we fell back off. Don't be afraid to own Bitcoin, and don't be afraid to just sit in it until it's the right time to move into altcoins. I think that's part of the hardest part is chasing kind of the theme and chasing the hot token and the idea around crypto. It moves like a video game. It's so much faster than the TradFi market that your head spins. And if you're off by a day, you could potentially be in a disadvantage, right? We know that if you get in at ground level, you're going to absolutely outperformed by magnitudes of thousands than somebody that might get in literally 24 hours later. It just moves that fast. And so if you can wait for this others chart to, like you said, find a floor, find support, and then start to rally, I think that's when you should be looking to own altcoins. Because as of right now, unless you're one of those guys that can dollar cost average down into its sinking, a depreciating asset, which I'm not, I do not want to start allocating capital towards an altcoin position that potentially is going to dip another 50, 60, 70, 90% before it starts to rally. I'd rather wait for it to find a floor and then start to take off, which should happen in this chart as well. And I'm assuming a bunch of the altcoins are all going to find a bottom at the same time. So challenging, man. It's so hard. All the said and done, it seems kind of dreary, but I'm not bearish at all. I don't want to make it out like I'm like depressed whatsoever. I actually really like the market right now. I think Bitcoin has an opportunity to really do some cool stuff. And I also think Bitcoin is kind of leaning into the TradFi market and allowing us to continue to express our bullish thesis there as well, because as long as Bitcoin is holding up, I think it's telling us that larger market participants are also bullish the market. They still want to continue to put capital into risk assets. And so I'm actually fine. I'm fine. I'm comfy. I'd prefer everything ripping 1,000% every day, but I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit back and worry just because Bitcoin is range bound or altcoins are down. As long as BTC is above 70K, but better, above 90K, I'm chilling. I'm totally fine. I know that if you're in the I know that if you're in the trenches, this might be, like you said, you're getting some extra gray hairs here. But I mean, you're earning your war stripes. This is your third cycle or second? I think it's your third cycle, right? You're earning your war stripes here. Second cycle? Yeah, well, I mean, you still got some war stripes to earn. And I mean, it's fine. Here, one more question, then we're going to call it a day here. And I have no idea. But this is my third or fourth cycle that I've been through. And every cycle kind of has like its thing. back in like 2016, 2017, it was ICOs, and then like the last cycle was like NFTs and stuff like that. And there's always like this new thing. I don't know if you have any idea now, but what is this cycle's like shiny object? What's the thing that like is going to come into the market and be like the next big thing? Do you have any ideas? Like, you know, we had a bunch of them last cycle that were really weird to me. NFTs, we had virtual land going out. Like people were buying fucking houses and real estate in the metaverse. RIP to that. What do you got here? Like what's the next big thing? I mean, it makes total sense. Yeah. There's less money going into the majors when they're going into some of these speculative pump fund plays, right? All right, that was great. I'm out of the loop there, so I'm glad you tied me in. And for anybody else out there, you probably, if you like crypto, you probably already know this. But for us guys that are out of the loop, there you go. It's the crime cycle. Don't buy any memes. Stick with Bitcoin for the most part. When others starts to break back to the upside, we can reallocate into some more altcoins. But right now, it's Bitcoin's show. Josh, thanks so much. It's always fun. Always a pleasure. Guys, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. What do you think? Bitcoin, are we hitting 150 or are we going back to 70? What's first, all right? Catch you guys next Friday. Enjoy the rest of your week.